Hello and welcome to my channel. So this video is all about Inês de Castro. So Inês Castro was born sometime in 1325. She was the daughter of Pedro Fernandez de Castro, Lord of Lemus and Sarria, and his mistress. So Inês was actually connected to royal lines through her family. She was descended from Galician and Portuguese nobility and had a connection to Castilian royalty, though this was through an illegitimate line. In 1340, Inês came to Portugal with Constance of Castile as one of her ladies-in-waiting. Constance had recently married Prince Pedro, the heir to the Portuguese throne. But when Pedro saw Inês, he immediately fell in love with her and made her his mistress. But his love for Inês meant that Pedro began to ignore his wife, which caused problems with Castile. And the Portuguese relationship with Castile was already feeble, so this was not good. Pedro's father, Afonso IV of Portugal, did not like his son's relationship with Inês, as he felt Inês had too much power and influence over his son. Indeed, Inês's brothers did become Pedro's friends and his trusted advisors. Alfonso did hope that Pedro's infatuation with Inês would be short-lived and soon it would wear off, but it didn't. So Constance died in 1349 and Alfonso did hope that his son would marry again, but Pedro said that he would not take any other wife except Inês. But he couldn't have Inês as his wife because she was deemed unsuitable to be queen. Pedro's refusal to take any other wife unless it was Inês caused some discomfort with the Portuguese nobility, as they feared that the Castilians were becoming more influential over Pedro. Now, King Alfonso had sent Inês away from court in 1344 in the hopes that their separation would cause their relationship to cool down and end. But Pedro refused to be away from Inês and they actually started to live together in secret. Now, Afonso decided that drastic measures had to be taken to keep his son and Inês away from each other. And the only way he saw that this could happen was by Inês dying, so he ordered her death. In 1355, he sent 3 men to the monastery of Santa Clara a Vela, where Inês was staying, so they could kill her. When the men got there, they grabbed hold of Inês and they did kill her by decapitating her. And they'd done this in front of her young child. When Pedro heard what had happened to Inês, he of course was not happy, so he went to war with his father. And he also went looking for the men that had murdered her, and he did manage to catch 2 of them. He had them executed by ripping out their hearts, claiming that they didn't have one after breaking his own heart. So King Alfonso eventually died in 1357 and made Pedro king. So after he became king, Pedro revealed to the royal court that he had actually married Inês and that she was the lawful queen of Portugal. Though we only actually have his word for this. Pedro then had Inês's body exhumed so that the entire court could pay their respects to their new queen. The king caused the body of his beloved Inês to be disinterred and placed on a throne adorned with the diadem and royal robes, and required all the nobility of the kingdom to approach and kiss the hem of her garment, rendering her, when dead, that homage which she had not received in her life. Though some modern sources say that Pedro digging up his mistress and having people swear allegiance to her as their queen is just a legend, because the story didn't first appear until 1577. So Inês was buried at the monastery of Alcobaça and Pedro was as well, and their coffins are actually interred opposite each other so that at the last judgment they could both look at each other when they rise from their graves. So that is the little story about Inês de Castro. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.